Stormont Committee Chair, now that's an interesting one.
It's an essential role, it's a scrutiny role, especially important in an executive where you have so many parties, all the main parties in the executive itself, and therefore you don't have the normal constitutional opposition.
Patsy McGlone was a good committee chair for me when I was Minister of the Environment. Maybe that's the kiss of death for Patsy, getting a recommendation from his minister.
Committee chair is someone who actually doesn't use it to grandstand themselves, but is actually there to manage the business quietly and efficiently.
Well, the committees here can be difficult, and the committee I'm in is the Culture, Arts and Leisure Committee, and our chair is Barry Michael Duff, and I suppose he's from Tyrone because otherwise I would recommend him.
Like doing a chair of any meeting, you have to be sort of, you say to people, right, you know, we've spent long enough on that issue, now we need to go on. But it's also about at the end of the meeting having action points so that you're doing something after the meeting and you're not just sitting there waffling.
I think it's important that the committees develop a sense of team purpose around their agenda. It's important that they don't see themselves as there just to always challenge and frisk everything that comes out of the department, but in many ways maybe to try and develop some ideas beyond what the department is doing and maybe be a bit of a policy outrider.
A good sense of humour when you're dealing with some of the more tricky debates within the committee, but I think certainly the most premium quality that a good committee chair should have is trying to find the middle ground and trying to find the compromise.
That's not just about challenging the minister, it's about actually challenging the workings of the department and actually saying, not only saying what they're doing wrong, but saying what they're doing right as well.
Allow for the debate to expand and for to allow all points of view to enter the committee room and have a healthy debate around it.
I think there is an art to chairmanship, and I think the trick, if it is possible, is to include everyone in all decisions, to make sure that everyone gets a chance to contribute their view, and to then bring those views to a conclusion.
You don't have to agree with other members of your committee, but you have to be able to make sure that each member of the committee feels comfortable and is able to make their relevant points, make their contribution.
Because I think that fairness, impartiality and some brevity.
I think there's an interesting mixture of new faces in this Assembly. Certainly on our benches, Anna Lowe is clearly a significant star in the place. Somebody like John McAllister is a young member of the Ulster Unionist Party, perhaps because he's the youngest member of the Ulster Unionist Party, is definitely standing out. There are one or two Sinn Féin members who I think are going to be making their name in the future, but haven't yet come through. Perhaps somebody like Simon Hamilton from the DUP. You know, there's a bit of a variety around the place.
Up and coming, well, this would be controversial, but I think one that's made a mark in this building has been Basil McRae. Again, excluding my own party, I think he certainly has very strong presentational skill. Well, I think Daithí Mackay has made a good impression. He's a young man come in here and he's rocked it to his foundations over the Giant's Causeway stuff.
So there were some very good interactions from people, and you look across and you see people like Daithí Mackay or Barry Michael Duff. Great characters.
And I don't like to start it, but Martina Anderson has been elected for the first time to the Assembly. She's obviously a colleague of mine in Foyle. I see her as a very strong representative.
The younger ones that have come in are proving to be very capable, but I would have to highlight particularly Michelle McElveen, who I have a very high regard for. I have a high regard for all my colleagues.
I would think in my own party there's Mila Bratton, who's a councillor in the Armagh City and District Council. There's Sharon Haughey, also a councillor there. There's Gary Stokes in Europe.
Well, I think in terms of coming up, I mean, as far as MLAs go, I have to say that John O'Dowd has been outstanding.
Ulster Unionist Party, Basil McRae, new kid on the block, and did a great thing recently by increasing access to Stormont Parliament buildings by organising a disco or a rave for 300 young people. You'd have to give him credit for that.